Hello to all the students of inorganic chemistry. I know most of you students do not like inorganic chemistry because you feel that a lot of mugging up is required in the subject. In fact, you feel that it is only mugging up that is required in the subject. But well, inorganic chemistry is chemistry and chemistry is a science. And since science is something that you should understand to excel in the subject. So here we at H2O, the A to Z of chemistry, are putting up a course for you people which is inorganic made easy, where we are going to give you a series of lectures which is going to make understanding of the inorganic concepts very well with you people, and we are also going to give you certain tricks to master the subject. So in the series we are going to discuss today tricks to master the oxoacids of sulfur. We've already put up a lecture on tricks to master the oxoacids of phosphorus, and if you have watched that, you do agree with me that learning really becomes easy. And for those who have not watched it, please do watch it before watching this lecture, because then it is going to be much more easier to learn the oxoacids of sulfur. Although even if you've not watched it, trust me, I am going to make you learn the names of 12 oxoacids of sulfur with their formulas, with their structures, in such a way that you are going to remember them forever. All right, so this is going to be very interesting. I hope you're going to enjoy your lecture with me. I am Dr. Ritu Johar from the channel H2O, the A to Z of chemistry. So let us begin the learning today. So oxoacids of sulfur. Before we start with the discussion, you should have a clear understanding what do we mean by oxoacids. And if you have watched the previous lecture on the oxoacids of phosphorus, you would be knowing what they mean. So in case you have watched that previous lecture, what you can do is just forward this lecture by about 10 to 12 minutes before we start with the discussion on the oxoacids of sulfur, because that portion is going to be similar to the one that you have already watched, or you can watch it as a revision also. All right, so for those who have not watched that, let us begin with the learning. So oxoacids, what do they mean? Oxoacids, they are also called as oxyacids, and oxy is going to be standing for oxygen, and oxygen containing acids is what we mean by oxyacids or oxoacids. Right, so these are defined as those compounds which contain hydrogen, oxygen, and at least one of the elements which contains a OH group. All right, so this compound that we call as oxoacid or oxyacid, this is going to contain three elements. One is going to be a Z element, which is what I will be just now talking about, and then apart from this Z, there is going to be at least one oxygen and one hydrogen in the form of a OH group. So you can say that the simplest oxoacid is going to be ZOH. Right, now why is this OH group very important in this oxoacid? It is because it is this OH group which is going to dissociate to produce H ions and the corresponding anion of the acid. So what I mean is that if we have an oxoacid ZOH, in solution it is going to give us ZO negative anion and H positive cation, and H positive, you all know this is responsible for the acidic character of the compounds, right? So the general formula for these compounds is going to be HXZYOZ, where X, Y, and Z, they can be similar. Also, they can be different also. So they can be different number of atoms of these three elements. They can be similar also. All right, now let us know more about this Z element. So we will be seeing some common elements which can form oxoacids and their highest oxidation number. Now why along with this I am telling you the highest oxidation number? The reason is because with the help of this oxidation number, we are going to write the names and the formulas for these compounds, and along with that even the structures, it is going to be very helpful to us. All right, so the common elements which form these oxoacids, these are the p block elements. For example, we have boron, carbon, silicon, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So these are the common elements which form oxo acid, but this does not mean that this is the complete list. For example, along with these P block elements, you will even see D block elements like manganese, chromium also forming oxo acids. Okay, so now as far as their oxidation states they are concerned, you can see that boron, this will be having the highest oxidation state +3, carbon silicon +4, nitrogen family +5, oxygen family +6, and the halogens +7. So what does this mean? Well, the highest oxidation state for these elements is going to be equal to the number of valence electrons these elements have. How do we calculate the number of valence electrons for these elements? Well, either you have to know their atomic number, you have to write down their electronic configuration, or if you know the number of their group, then also you can do that. So boron is going to be group 13 element. So 13 minus 10 for the D block elements, it is going to be 3 valence electrons for boron. For carbon, it is 14 groups. So 14 minus 10 is going to be 4 valence electrons, and 4 is going to be the highest oxidation state for group 14 elements. Then for group 15, it is going to be 15 minus 10. So it will be 5 as the highest oxidation state. Oxygen family is going to be +6, and halogen family, this is +7. Fluorine also forms one oxo acid, but it is not going to be many oxo acids that we see for fluorine. So that is not being written over here. Alright, so these are as far as which are going to be the elements commonly forming the oxo acids. Now, when we are going to name these oxo acids, what is going to be very important is that you know the name of the parent acids. Now, what do we mean by parent acid? Well, we have two types of parent acid generally when we see the oxy acids. Either they are going to be ic acids or they are going to be us acids. For example, we have HNO3 to be nitric acid and HNO2 to be nitrous acid, right? So this is an ic acid and this is an us acid. All right. So generally we use two suffixes for the oxo acids, one being the ic acids and the other being the us acids. Now what is very important is I want you to see the oxidation state of nitrogen in these two acids, HNO3 and HNO2. So in HNO3, what you see is, if you are going to calculate the oxidation state for nitrogen, it is going to be +1 for hydrogen. Let us say X is the oxidation state of nitrogen, and oxygen, this has the oxidation state -2 in most of general compounds, right? So we have +1 plus X plus 3 into -2, and this is a neutral compound. So the sum total of this has to be equal to 0. I hope you all know how to calculate the oxidation state of any given element. So what is going to be the value of X? Well, this will be +5. In HNO2, this value, this comes as +3. So what do you see over here is that HNO3, this has nitrogen to be of a higher oxidation state than HNO2. From this, we can even generalize a result, and the generalized result is that the ic acids, they always have a higher oxidation state than the us acids. In fact, if I talk about ic and us, even in the elemental state, you will find that the ic elements, they are going to have a higher oxidation state than the us elements. For example, we have iron to be ferric and ferrous. So ferric, it has the +3 oxidation state, and ferrous, it has +2 oxidation state. Stannic and stannous for tin, +4 and +2 oxidation state. Similarly, plumbic, plumbous, mercuric, mercurous. In all of these elements also, you will be seeing that the higher oxidation state, we write the suffix ic, and for the lower oxidation state, we write as us. So it is going to be similar for these oxo acids also, right? So what do you have to remember? You have to remember that the ic acid, they always have a higher oxidation state than the us acids. Now in the naming of these oxo acids, you have to remember one formula per element. What I mean is, for example, we have to learn the oxo acids of sulfur today. So I would want you to remember the formula of one oxo acid of sulfur. And which is that acid? Well, I want you to remember the formula for the parent ic acid. Alright. The parent ic acid for sulfur is going to be sulfuric acid. And the formula, I hope you all know because you've studied it probably from class 7, that the formula of sulfuric acid is H2SO4. So for learning the formulas, the names, the structures of 12 oxoacids of sulfur, well, what is sufficient for you to know? The formula of sulfuric acid, which you already know, right? So it is going to be really very easy. Now the ic acids, I have given you a table of all the oxo acid which the elements are going to be forming. So let us see how we can even remember the formula for the ic acids for all these elements. Okay, and the trick that you have to remember for remembering the parent ic acid formulas is that the Z element in all these parent ic acid is in the highest oxidation state, except for the case of halogens where the ic acid will not be in the highest oxidation state, that is +7. It is going to be in the oxidation state of +5. Okay, this is all that you have to remember. For example, we just now see nitric acid. The nitrogen, it has the highest oxidation state of 5, right? So in the ic acid or all the oxoacids, you will be seeing that the element Z is going to be in its highest oxidation state, except for halogens where the ic acid will be having +5. So let us see the whole list once again. So we saw boron, carbon, nitrogen, boron having the +3 highest oxidation state, carbon +4 and nitrogen +5. Boric acid is H3BO4, carbonic acid is H2CO3 and nitric acid is HNO3. So these are the parent ic acids for these three elements. How are you going to remember them? I am going to even give you a trick for that also, right? So you all know what is HNO3. Agreed, this is what you know from your junior classes. If you add one hydrogen to it, it is going to be H2CO3. If you add one hydrogen to this, it is going to be H3BO4. So what you can see is in the period from boron to nitrogen, the ic acid, one hydrogen is becoming less. So whatever way you can remember, this is going to be the parent ic acid. Similarly, you can see in the next period as well, we have silicon, phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine, right? So if I start with sulfur, which you already know the formula for sulfuric acid is H2SO4. If I decrease one hydrogen, it will be, sorry, I increase one hydrogen, it will be H3PO4, that will be phosphoric acid. If I increase one more hydrogen, it will be H4SiO4. This is silicic acid, phosphoric acid, sulfuric acid. And if I decrease one hydrogen, it will form HClO4. But in HClO4, the oxidation state of chlorine would be +7, which is not going to be the ic acid. So here you will have to remember that in a +5 oxidation state, so it will not be HClO4, it will be HClO3 that we will be having as the parent ic acid for chlorine. Okay, so it is chloric acid. Similarly, it is going for bromic acid, iodic acid as well, and for the rest of these elements also you can remember the parent ic acids this way. Okay, I think this is very easy that you can remember all the parent ic acids by this chart. Now you have to just start from either way. If you're starting for nitrogen, keep on increasing one hydrogen. If you're starting for sulfur, you just keep on increasing one hydrogen and you know the name of all these parent ic acids. So now I'm going to show the formulae of the various oxoacids of sulfur that you people have to remember, and as I told you, these are 12 of them, right? Starting from H2SO2 to H2SO3, 4, 5, then H2S2O2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and these are the names of all of these acids, right? Hyposulfurous acid, sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid, peroxomonosulfuric acid. How are you going to remember all these names? Well, that is what I'm going to teach you. A trick to remember all these names in a very easy way, right? So let us see how we are going to remember them. Now in naming these oxoacids of sulfur, I am going to make a flow chart for you people so that you can remember the names very easily. Now all those students who've already done the oxo acids of phosphorus with us, well, there is one good news that I have for you people. Out of the 12 names that you have to learn for the oxo acids of sulfur, 7 have already been learned when you learned the oxo acids of phosphorus. How? Let me show you. Even the students who have not watched it, well, you are going to learn these names in this flowchart. Do not worry. So what we will be doing is we will be starting with the parent ic acid. All right. So either it is phosphor parent ic acid, phosphoric acid, or it is going to be sulfuric acid, sulfuric acid. As I told you that you have to remember just one formula, that is going to be H2SO4 in case of sulfur, and in case of phosphoric acid it is going to be H3PO4 that you have to remember, and rest all of you can, all the names you can learn with the help of the flow chart that I'm going to make for you people. All right, so we have the parent ic acid. First of all, when we are going to remove one oxygen from it, what we get is the parent us acid. If you remove one more oxygen from this, what you will be getting is the hypo-us acid. All right, and now from the parent us acid, if we remove one water molecule, that is 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen from the formula of the compound, what you get is the meta-us acid. Similarly, from the parent ic acid, if we remove one water molecule, what we get is the meta-ic acid, right? Then from the parent us acid, if you multiply this into 2, that means if you take 2 molecules of the parent us acid and from that you remove one water molecule, what you will be getting is a pyro-us acid. Remember, pyro refers to heating, and when you are going to heat this 2 molecules of the us acid, a water molecule is going to go out. All right, so what you will be getting is the pyro-us acid, or it is also called as the di-us acid. Similarly, from the parent ic acid, if we are going to take 2 molecules of that and remove one water molecule by heating it, what you are going to get is a pyroic acid or a di-ic acid. Then you have this pyroic acid. What you have to do is to get 2 more compounds, -1 oxygen and +1 oxygen. If we remove 1 oxygen, what we get is a hypoic acid, and if we are going to add 1 oxygen, it is going to be a peroxodiic acid. Okay, now hypoic acid is, remember, from pyroic acid when you remove one oxygen, because when you're going to remove one oxygen from the parent ic acid, what you get is the parent us acid. Okay, so from pyroic acid, when we remove one oxygen, what we get is a hypoic acid for any oxo acid, if that is going to be applicable. Now this is peroxodiic acid. There should be some peroxomonoic acid also. So from the parent ic acid, if you are going to add one oxygen, what you will be getting is the peroxomonoic acid, or simply the peroxoic acid. This is the general flow chart that we have to remember the names of the oxo acids of any element. Now, in case of phosphorus, all of these names, they exist. But in case of the oxo acids of sulfur, some of these, they are not going to be present. Okay, what is not going to be present? Let me tell you. Meta-ic acid is not going to be there in the names of the oxo acids of sulfur. Similarly, meta-us acid also will not be there, and along with that the hypoic acid will also not be there. So what this means is, when you learned the names of the oxo acids of phosphorus, if you remember now this chart, how we make it, because it is very easy to make, you just have to write it down 2-3 times and you will be remembering this. Okay, so this was the chart we made for phosphorus, and now out of this only 3 we have cancelled. So this makes the remembering of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 oxo acids of sulfur also done. What will be left is learning 5 more names. That also I will be giving you a trick to remember that also, so do not worry. So first of all, let us see what are going to be the names of these oxo acids of sulfur in this way. So we start with the naming of the oxo acids of sulfur with what acid? We started with sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, and this is the parent ic acid. From this, what do we have to do? We have to subtract one oxygen, and what we will be getting is the parent us acid, that is sulfurous acid, H2SO3. All right, now from this, what do you have to do? Subtract one more oxygen, and what you will be getting is H2SO2, and this will be called as hyposulfurous acid. Okay, now what is going to be the next? The next is going to be, you are going to take 2 moles or 2 molecules of H2SO3, and from that you are going to subtract one water molecule. So what this means is, 2 molecules of H2SO3 means H4, S2 and O6. From this, when you are going to subtract one water molecule, what you will be getting is H2, S2 and O5. Alright, and this will be called as pyrosulfurous acid, H2S2O5, and this is also called as disulfurous acid. So remember, pyro stands for heat. You are going to take 2 molecules of sulfurous acid, heat it to make it pyrosulfurous acid, and because you have taken 2 molecules of sulfurous acid, you can also call that as disulfurous acid. Similar is what you are going to do for sulfuric acid. So take 2 molecules of sulfuric acid and subtract one water molecule. From that, what you will be getting is H2S2O7. All right, and what is going to be its name? Again, you have taken 2 molecules, heated them, removed one water, so heating is going to be pyro. Pyrosulfuric acid, H2S2O7, because you have taken again 2 molecules, so you can also call it as disulfuric acid. The next, what are you going to do? From this pyro or disulfuric acid, you are going to add one more oxygen atom, and this is going to make it peroxo disulfuric acid. We call this as peroxo because in the structure of this compound, what you will be seeing is the presence of a peroxy linkage, that is a O single bond O. All right, now this is peroxo disulfuric acid. Where is the peroxo monosulfuric acid? Well, peroxo disulfuric acid is what you have got from disulfuric acid. So peroxo monosulfuric acid is what you will be getting from sulfuric acid. So add one oxygen to sulfuric acid, H2SO5 it will become, and the name of the compound, this will be peroxo monosulfuric acid. I repeat once again, we start with sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. This is the ic acid, minus 1 oxygen, H2SO3, sulfurous acid, minus 1 more oxygen, this is hypo. Hypo is less. So even less than sulfurous acid, 1 oxygen is going to be hyposulfurous acid, H2SO2. Then 2 molecules of sulfurous acid heated, remove one water molecule, what you will be getting is pyrosulfurous acid, H2S2O5, and because you have taken 2 molecules, so this becomes disulfurous acid. Similarly, sulfuric acid, 2 molecules minus 1 water, it will be pyrosulfuric acid, H2S2O7 or disulfuric acid. Right, from this add one more oxygen atom, you will be getting H2S2O8. This is called as peroxo disulfuric acid because in the structure you will be seeing the presence of a peroxy linkage. Similarly, one extra oxygen into sulfuric acid is going to be H2SO5, and here also you will be seeing the presence of a peroxy linkage. So this becomes peroxo monosulfuric acid. So 7 names in total we have done till now. Just 5 more left, and that are also going to be very easy. Now learning the rest of the compounds is also not going to be very difficult. Here what you have to remember is that in all the compounds that we will be discussing now, when we will be drawing the structures for these, you will be seeing that in all of these compounds there is going to be present a SS linkage. All right, so these all compounds that we have to learn, they will be containing two sulfur atoms, and in these two sulfur atoms there will be always present a sulfur sulfur single bond, that is an SS linkage. And whenever in these oxo acids of sulfur a SS linkage is present, we use the prefix thio for them. So these are going to be thioxo acids. So that is why we have a slight difference in the naming. But again, these can also be very easy. Now, how are we going to remember that? What you have to remember is that we have the parent us acid to be sulfurous acid, that is H2SO3. When we add one oxygen atom to it, what is it going to become? H2SO4. And what is H2SO4? It is sulfuric acid. So we get the parent ic acid when we add one oxygen atom to the parent us acid. But instead of this, if I add one sulfur atom, again it is going to be a sulfuric acid. But now in this case, we will be calling it as a thiosulfuric acid, because when you will be drawing the structure for it, you will be seeing in this compound the presence of the SS linkage. Similarly, sulfurous acid can be obtained from hyposulfurous acid by the addition of one oxygen atom. But instead of this one oxygen, if I add one sulfur atom, what is it going to become? Well, it will become H2S2O2, right? H2S2O2, and now this will be called as thiosulfurous acid. Adding one oxygen to hyposulfurous acid made it sulfurous acid, but instead I added one sulfur atom, so this become thiosulfurous acid. Sulfurous acid, add one oxygen, add one oxygen, what you will be getting is sulfuric acid, and if you add one sulfur atom, you will be getting a thiosulfuric acid. Easy enough. You have learned two more names. Now let us learn the next one. Now the next one, what you have to remember is thiosulfurous acid is H2S2O2. If I add two oxygen atoms to it, you can say this is dioxygen that has been added, because I'm adding two oxygens, right? So thiosulfurous acid, now this becomes dithionous acid. Okay, this becomes dithionous acid, and if to this dithionous acid, if I add two more oxygen atoms, what I will be getting is a dithionic acid. So dithionic acid is going to be H2S2O6. Now in this dithionic acid, what you can see is there are two sulfur atoms present, but if there are going to be three sulfur atoms present, what we will be calling it as a trithionic acid. If there will be four sulfur atoms present, it will be called as a tetrathionic acid, and if it is going to be more of these present, we can call it as a polythionic acid, and the general formula for that is going to be H2SXO6. Whole structure is going to be resembling that of the dithionic acid, except that the number of sulfur atoms which will be adding will be shown up as the SSSSS linkage. Alright, so the number of sulfur atoms is going to be equal to the number of these linkages that we will be making. Okay, I hope this is clear. This is how we name them. In fact, it is dithionous acid. Similarly, we can have a polythionous series also, where we will be having H2SXO4 series also. Okay, so I hope now these names, they are very clear to you people, how you can remember them. You have to make 2-3 times the chart for it, but once you have learned making this chart with your own hands, it is going to be very easy for you people to remember it. Now we have named these compounds, we have seen the formulas for these compounds, how we are going to learn them. The next thing is going to be how we will be drawing the structures for these. And here what you have to first of all remember is certain structural features that you will be seeing in these oxo acids, which is going to be helpful if you keep this in your mind while you're going to draw the structures. The first thing is that sulfur, this can have the highest oxidation state of +6. If in the formula of the compound you are calculating the oxidation state, if it comes greater than +6, in those compounds you will always see the presence of a peroxy linkage. Sulfur will never have an oxidation state greater than +6. Okay, the next thing is that the oxo acids with a higher oxidation state, this will be ending in ic. The lower oxidation state, they will be ending in us. Sulfuric acid is going to have sulfur in the higher oxidation state than sulfurous acid sulfur, whereas dithionic acid will be having sulfur in the higher oxidation state than the dithionous acid, and so on. Okay. The next thing that you have to remember, in all the oxo acids of sulfur, we see the presence of at least one S double bond O and one SOH, where rarely you will be seeing instead of the SOH there is a SSH linkage also present, or instead of the, if there is a SOH and there may be a S double bond S. So that is going to be rarely seen. In general, what you will be seeing is the S double bond O and a SOH linkage is going to be present. Some oxo acids, they have SS linkage, SOS linkage, or SOOS linkage. Alright, whenever there is going to be a SS linkage, as I've already told you, these oxo acids, they will be called as thioacids. And when there is going to be a SOOS linkage, this means there is a presence of an oxygen-oxygen single bond. These oxo acids, they will be called as the peroxo acids. So now let us learn how we are going to draw the structures for these compounds. First, we will be seeing the structures of the oxo acids where there is one sulfur atom. So one sulfur atom, the formulas that we have, let me just write them down. Also we have, it is H2SO3, H2SO4 and H2SO5. SO5. This is sulfurous acid, this is sulfuric acid, and this is peroxomonosulfuric acid, right? So sulfuric acid minus one oxygen, sulfurous acid, add one oxygen, peroxomonosulfuric acid. So what is going to be the trick to draw the structures for this? Well, I've already told you that each oxo acid, this will be having one sulfur atom, and one sulfur atom is going to be attached to what? It is going to be attached to one oxygen atom with the help of a double bond, and with one oxygen, one oxygen of the OH group with a single bond, right? So at least for one sulfur atom, this means we know for sure that there is going to be one hydrogen and two oxygens present. So in each oxo acid with one sulfur atom, you are going to see this unit HSO2. The students who have already studied the oxo acids of phosphorus, you know this very well, because we have done the same thing while we drew the structures for the oxo acids of phosphorus also, right? So now what this means is S double bond O and SOH is going to be in total one hydrogen, one sulfur and two oxygen atoms. Okay, so it is this sulfur which is having a double bond with oxygen, and the same sulfur with the OH group also. So what we will be doing, we will be subtracting this HSO2 unit from the formula of the oxo acid for the easy drawing. So what we will be, for example, we have to draw the structure of H2SO3 sulfurous acid. So subtract this HSO2 from this, what you will be getting is one oxygen atom and one hydrogen atom, right? So now in the structure, what you will have to fit is one oxygen atom and one hydrogen atom. So now, remembering all these things that I have told you, we are going to draw the structures of oxo acids. First, we will be drawing where we have one sulfur atom. So which are the sulfur oxo acids which we have learned which have one sulfur atom? Well, we started with H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, the parent ic acid, right? So from H2SO4, what did we do? We subtracted one oxygen. What did we get? What we got was H2SO3. Fine. And we added one oxygen. What we got was a H2SO5. We even subtract one oxygen to get H2SO2, but that structure is not required for you people, so we will not be drawing that. Fine. So we will not be drawing the structure for hyposulfurous acid. We are going to draw just three structures, that is going to be sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid and peroxomonosulfuric acid, and this is called as peroxomonosulfuric acid because of the presence of the peroxy linkage. And we can confirm that, sorry, this is going to be 5, and you can confirm that by the oxidation state of the sulfur also here. So here oxygen is going to be -10. For the hydrogen it is going to be +2, and this has to be equal to 0 plus X, right? So what is it going to be? X value is going to come up as +8. So this is greater than the highest oxidation state of sulfur. So this shows that here we are going to see the presence of a peroxy linkage, as you will be seeing in the structure also. So we will start first of all with sulfurous acid, and sulfurous acid is H2SO3. So H2SO3 minus the common unit, that is going to be HSO2, one sulfur oxygen double bond and one SOH group. So what will be left behind will be the OH. So how are we going to fit in? First we will be making the sulfur with the oxygen and the sulfur with the OH group. So this has to be made. After that, what you have to make? You have one oxygen and hydrogen. Wherever there is a hydrogen present, please do first of all put up a OH group. Okay, after that, whatever is left behind, we will be putting that into place. With wherever we have a hydrogen along with an oxygen, please put that up as an OH group. So this is how you will be getting the structure. 4 electrons of sulfur have been utilized in bond formation. So 2 remaining from the valence shell will be existing as the lone pair of electron. You may not draw that in the structure. The next we have is sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid H2SO4 minus HSO2. What you will be getting is now HO2 now. Okay, so again what you will be doing, sulfur with a double bonded oxygen with the OH group, and after that one hydrogen and oxygen will go as the OH group, one remaining oxygen as a double bond with sulfur. How many electrons of here utilized? It has been 6 electrons, all completely utilized. So well, there is going to be no lone pair of electrons present, and sulfur is in its highest oxidation state. Here it is going to be +6 oxidation state. Here it is going to be +4 oxidation state. Okay. You can remember this also, that here when sulfuric acid, this has +6 oxidation state. The sulfurous acid is 1 oxygen less. So for 1 oxygen we have -2. So just -2 for the oxidation state of sulfurous acid. This is +6. This will be +4. One more thing which you have to remember is related to the bond length. Sulfur oxygen, this is a double bond, so the bond length is going to be shorter than the SO bond length. Here it is a single bond, and because of the increased electron density here, well, the repulsion between the electron pairs is going to be more. So the bond angles oxygen, sulfur, oxygen, where we have a double bond, this is larger than this bond. Okay, so this is another thing that you have to remember. You have to study in detail sulfuric acid. So these concepts are going to be important. What is going to be the hybridization of sulfur? Well, it is making 4 sigma bonds, so it is going to be sp3 hybridization. Alright, the next we have is peroxomonosulfuric acid, that is H2SO5 minus HSO2. What you will be getting is HO3 now. Right, so 1 hydrogen and 3 oxygens we have to put in. So we again put the S with a double bond O and 1 with the OH. Alright, this is done. After that you have to put again 1 hydrogen is there, so you have to put a OH. So you did that just like you did for sulfuric acid, and 1 oxygen you put as a double bond. But after that all the 6 electrons have been utilized for sulfur. You have already reached the highest oxidation state of sulfur, so sulfur cannot make more bonds. So where will that oxygen go? Well, that will go in between sulfur and the OH group. You can put it on this side or you can put it on that side. That is not going to make a difference. Okay, so this is how you will be doing it. When you are going to draw the structure, just remember that the sulfur is making 2 bonds with 2 oxygen atoms. Just put them on the opposite side when you are drawing, because this will decrease the repulsion between the electron pairs. Okay, so when you're going to put them on the opposite side, they are farther away from each other. So this is how you draw the structures. Okay, so these are the things that you have to remember. Next, we will be drawing the structures of those oxo acids where there are going to be 2 sulfur atoms. So we will be using some old techniques and some new ones also to draw the structures for 2 sulfur atom oxo acids. But this is also going to be very simple for you people to remember. Alright, so here what are the structures that we have to draw? We will be drawing the structures from H2S2O2 going up to H2S2O8. Alright, So these are the structures that we will be drawing. The first basic thing is going to remain the same, what you have learned for one sulfur atom also. So the first is that there is going to be one sulfur atom, so there will be at least one S double bond O and the SOH unit, so it will be HSO2 unit. If there are going to be two sulfur atoms, there will be two HSO2 units, or you can say it will be H2S2O4, which has to be present in one oxo acid at least, right? Alright, so now what we will be doing is we will be simply subtracting this H2S2O4 from each oxo acid for easy drawing. Clear? Easy enough, no problem at all. Alright, so the first structure, let us see, that is going to be H2S2O2. Now, do you remember what is the name of this compound? Well, I hope you all remember, but if you do not, I'm going to just speak it up again. We have H2SO4, we have H2SO3, and we have H2SO2. This is sulfuric acid, this is sulfurous acid, and one oxygen less is hyposulfurous acid. Now if you compare this and this, what you can see is there is one sulfur atom more than hyposulfurous acid. If it is one oxygen more, it is sulfurous acid. If it is one sulfur more, it is also going to be sulfurous acid, but now in this case it is going to be thiosulfurous acid. So what is the name of this compound? It is thiosulfurous acid. I am going to make you remember these names again and again. Alright, so this is thiosulfurous acid. How are we going to draw the structure for this? Again, first of all, what are we going to subtract? Because it is through sulfur atoms, but what we will be subtracting is H2S2O4. But now there is a problem over here when you're going to subtract it, because here we have to subtract 4 oxygen atoms, but here we have only 2 in the formula. So how are we going to do that? Well, we cannot do that. When we cannot do that, go one step lower, and that is going to be subtracting of one HSO2 unit. Okay, so we will be subtracting one HSO2 unit, and this will be making it a difference of HS now. These are what you have to fit into the structure. Now when you're subtracting one HSO2 unit, this means that your base structure is going to be just one sulfur atom. Alright, so what you will be doing is you will be drawing the base unit with one sulfur atom with the double bonded oxygen and with the OH group. So this you will be drawing, and to this only you will be fitting up this SH. If it is a OH, you put a OH bond. If it is going to be a SH, simply you will be putting it as a SH bond. And here now there is going to be present the SS linkage, right? So that is why we call it as thiosulfurous acid. If it had been a OH, it would have been sulfurous acid. Now it is a SH, so it is thiosulfurous acid. Now what is the structure here that you are seeing? Here what you are seeing is, instead of this double bonded oxygen, we have made the double bond with sulfur, and instead of the sulfur bond over here as the sulfur SH, we have this as the sulfur OH. So this is also having the same formula as this structure, and these two, they are resonating structures. Okay, how are they resonating structures? They are resonating structures because, let me just show you that also. Okay, so we have a sulfur double bonded oxygen, and this is the sulfur with the hydrogen. Okay, now this sulfur, this has a lone pair of electrons. So what it does is this shares this lone pair of electrons with this sulfur. So what here the sulfur will be having is a positive charge. Alright, and this oxygen, this will be going over here. So this will be existing as a negative charge. Right, so this shows how the electrons, they have been flowing from one sulfur to the oxygen atom. Now this oxygen atom, this is highly electronegative, right? So what it will be doing is, this will be abstracting this hydrogen as a H positive, and this electron pair, this will go back to its sulfur. Alright, so in return what you will be getting is a sulfur with a double bonded sulfur, and this as this. Okay, so this is essentially making this structure. We have just twisted it to keep the sulfur bond up. All right, so I hope now you will remember this. And generally what you will be seeing in the examination when you will be asked to name this structure is going to be the one which we have made with the double bonded oxygen and the SH. But in case the other one is also given, please do remember that both of these, they are resonating structures. Okay. So the next we have is H2S2O3. So now how are you going to remember the name for this compound? Again, you can write H2SO4, H2SO3 and H2SO2. So which is the comparison over here? We can make it with H2S2O3. This is one sulfur more than sulfurous acid. So one oxygen more is sulfuric acid. If it is one sulfur more, it is also going to be sulfuric acid, but this time it is going to be thiosulfuric acid. All right, so I am going to speak again and again so that this concept, this just fits into your mind. This is the way you can very easily remember things once you have done it 2-3 times. So again, what we are going to do to write down the structure for this is going to be that you will be subtracting H2S2O4. Again, what you can see is this is one oxygen more than over here in the formula. So this is not going to be possible. So what are we going to do? We are going to subtract HSO2. HSO2 is going to give us an addition of HSO now. So how are we going to put it? Again, you will be making the base unit of HSO2 first. You will be drawing the sulfur with the double bonded oxygen and the OH group. Then you have to fit in the S and the O and the H. Now here you have two options. Either you can make a sulfur with the double bonded sulfur and OH group you put like this, or you can put an oxygen with the double bond with the sulfur, and SH you put it as a single bond. Again, these two, they are going to be resonating structures. Again, this sulfur, this can donate an electron pair, make a double bond here. This would move as a negative charge. This would abstract its hydrogen. It will become a OH, and here we will be getting the sulfur and the double bond, just this structure. All right, so these are also resonating structures, just like we did for the previous one, and this is thiosulfuric acid. Okay, I hope this is clear. Great. Now the next we have is H2S2O4, and now I have written onwards also along with this, because in all of these structures after H2S2O4, what you will be seeing is that we will be able to subtract now this common unit, that is H2S2O4. We have one sulfur to be having a double bonded oxygen and OH, and now there is also a sulfur which is having a double bonded oxygen and a OH. So this base is going to be now present, and when this base is going to be present, well, in between these two sulfurs also there has to be some connecting link. And what is that connecting link which can be present now? For H2S2O4 and beyond, you will be able to see either that there will be a sulfur-sulfur linkage, or there can be present a sulfur-oxygen-sulfur linkage, or there can be present a sulfur-oxygen-oxygen-sulfur linkage. All right. So all of these now, they are a possibility. Just let me clear this. So how are we going to decide which is going to be the linkage present between the sulfur-sulfur or the sulfur-SOS? It is a SOS linkage or a SOOS linkage. How are we going to learn that? Well, again, there is going to be a trick for that also. So the trick is going to be that you will be calculating the oxidation state. If the oxidation state is going to be less than the highest oxidation state, that means if it is going to be less than +6, well, what you will be seeing is a sulfur-sulfur linkage. If the oxidation state is equal to the highest oxidation state, it is going to be a SOS linkage. And if it is going to be greater than the highest oxidation state, it is going to be a SOOS linkage. Easy enough, I think, no problems. When it is going to be a sulfur-sulfur linkage, it will be called as the thio linkage. When it will be a SOOS linkage, it will be called as the peroxo linkage. Okay. I hope again this is clear. So next we have is H2S2O4. How are we going to draw the structure? I will be coming up to that, but what is the name of this compound? If I again write down H2SO4, H2SO3, H2SO2, right? This is not one sulfur more than this is not one sulfur more than this is one sulfur more than H2SO4. But here we do not have any name related to sulfuric acid where we can say that this is now something hyperoxo sulfuric acid. So that is not going to be the case, because for the peroxy compound, it has to be a oxygen-oxygen linkage. Right? So one sulfur more, we will not be able to give it the same name like this we gave it. So here what you have to remember is that you will be, when you are not making anything out of it, just go up to now H2S2O2. Here what you can see is that we have added two oxygen atoms. When we have added two oxygen, it is going to be dithionous acid. Okay, so that will be H2S2 O4 is going to be two oxygen atoms more, and if you are going to add further two more oxygen atom, what you will be making is H2S2O6, and that will be dithionic acid. So this is dithionous acid, and this is going to be 6. So it is going to be dithionic acid. So this is how you will be remembering these. So now we have to draw the structure. So for the structure, the same thing we are going to do again. We are going to subtract the common base unit, that is going to be H2S2O4 now, and you will have nothing over here. So what this means is, well, you have to draw those basic things. But what you will be doing is to just check out what is going to be the linkage that is going to be present. You will be finding out the oxidation state of sulfur, and the oxidation state of sulfur, this is going to come up as +3. +3 means this is less than the highest oxidation state, so it will be SS linkage. So simply what you are going to do is draw a SS linkage between the two sulfurs. Put each sulfur with a double bonded oxygen and a OH group, and this is going to complete your structure. This is dithionous acid H2S2O4. Very easy, I think, not at all difficult. Now one thing which I want you to remember over here is that these two oxygen double bonds, they are very close to each other. So as to minimize the repulsion, the correct structure for this compound is going to be with the two double bonded oxygens on the opposite side. Okay, so please do remember this. This would be the correct structure, but in case you draw this also in your school examination, this will be correct. And if in your competitive examination, well, you will be given the choices, and I think that is going to be very easy. But in case both of these they are given, so this is going to be a better option. Okay. Now the next one we have is H2S2O5, and H2S2O5, first of all we subtract H2S2O4, the common unit, we will be getting one oxygen atom. Again you are going to do what? You have to first of all find out the oxidation state of sulfur. That comes up as +4, and therefore this is less than +6, so it has to be a SS linkage. How are you going to draw this? Well, the way you are going to draw is again the two sulfurs with the sulfur-sulfur linkage, one double bonded oxygen, one double bonded oxygen, one OH group, one OH group. So this has to be present. What is going to be left behind is one oxygen. So put that as a double bonded oxygen to any one of the sulfur atoms. Okay, so I hope this is clear. The structure is enough. Now one more very interesting thing is I did not talk about the name of this compound first from the formula. All right, why did I do that is because here what I wanted you to do was to find out the oxidation state of sulfur. Okay, so when you find out that the oxidation state is +4, this is the oxidation state which is similar to the oxidation state of sulfurous acid. Okay, so just remember that oxidation state of +4 is going to be present in the us acid, parent us acid, or it will be present in the di-us acid. Right, so this is sulfurous acid, or it is going to be disulfurous acid or pyrosulfurous acid. Similarly, the +6 oxidation state, you will be seeing it either in the parent-ic acid, that is sulfuric acid, or you will be seeing it in the di-ic acid, that is disulfuric acid. So apart from these, you will never be seeing the +4 and the +6 oxidation state in these compounds. So again, from the oxidation state, you can tell the name of this compound also. Okay, so this is how these small little tricks, they can, if you just practice them 2-3 times, well, you are going to write down the names in the fraction of a second. So H2S2O5, this is pyrosulfurous acid or disulfurous acid. How did we make the formula for that from the name? That was when you had taken sulfurous acid 2 molecules and subtracted 1 water molecule from that. So the next we have is H2S2O6. So let us do this quickly. This is 2 oxygens more than thionous acid. So it is dithionic acid. Okay. So H2S2O6 minus H2S2O4 is going to be 2 oxygen atoms. The oxidation state of sulfur is +5. So it has to be a SS linkage because it is less than the highest oxidation state. So make this SS linkage between the 2 sulfur atoms. Put the common units double bonded oxygen and OH on both the sulfur atoms. What you have to now put in is these 2 oxygen atoms. So put by a double bond on both sides. Easy enough, not a problem. Great. Next we have is H2SXO6. So here this X atom can be a number which can vary from 2 to infinity. So where whatever is going to be the number of these sulfur atoms, there you are going to add them as the sulfur-sulfur linkage, just like we did for H2S2O6. So for example, here you can see that we have 3 sulfur atoms. So this is going to be H2S3O6. It is going to be trithionic acid. If it will be 4 sulfur atoms, it will be tetrathionic acid. And the number of sulfur linkages is going to be 1 less than the number of sulfur atoms. So here we have 3 sulfur atoms. There will be 2 SS linkage. Okay. So this is what you have to remember for this structure. Next we have is H2S2O7. So again subtract H2S2O4. What you will be getting is O3. The oxidation state is +6. So +6 oxidation state, 2 sulfur atoms. It is going to be disulfuric acid or pyrosulfuric acid. And here, because the highest oxidation state we have in the compound, so it will be a SOS linkage. So make first of all the SOS linkage, the double bonded oxygen both sides, the SOH group on both sides. What you will be left again with is going to be 2 oxygens. 1 oxygen we have utilized in between the 2 sulfurs. So again these you will be putting up as the double bonded oxygens. The next we have is H2S2O8. So again subtract H2S2O4. You have to put in 4 oxygen atoms. The oxidation state is +7 for sulfur. So this is higher than the highest oxidation state. So it will be a SOOS linkage. So make that linkage. Put the double bonds, the OH group. What you will be left behind after the utilization of these 2 oxygens is going to be 2 oxygens more. So put them as the double bonded oxygens. You get peroxodisulfuric acid. Wherever there is going to be oxidation state more than 6, it is going to be a peroxo compound. If it is 1 sulfur atom, it will be monosulfuric acid. If it is going to be 2 oxygen atoms, it is going to be disulfuric acid. I think very clear now. Good. So again, now you can see again the complete list of the formula of all these oxo acids of sulfur with their name, and also now the oxidation number which we can calculate from the formula. So first of all, when you saw them, you were really afraid of them, but I'm sure now they are quite easy for you people to be remembered. Alright, now one thing again of the oxidation number I want to repeat with you people, that you will see that H2SO4, which is the parent ic acid, this will be having sulfur in the highest oxidation state, that is +6. Along with that, disulfuric acid or pyrosulfuric acid, this will be present in the highest oxidation state. Right, the peroxo compounds where we see a peroxy linkage, there we are going to see that it appears from the formula that sulfur is going to be in the higher oxidation state. In peroxo monosulfuric acid, it is going to be shown as +8 oxidation state, whereas over here in peroxo disulfuric acid, it is +7 oxidation state. But actually sulfur is going to be in its highest oxidation state, that is +6. But from the formula, it appears that it is having a higher oxidation state. So wherever there is going to be a higher oxidation state than normal, it is because of the presence of the peroxy linkage. Alright, and apart from these, all the other oxo acids, they will be having sulfur in a lower oxidation state than +6. All right, so this is what you have to remember. All right. Now, one more thing which you can see over here in red, this is the common names that we have for these acids. Peroxomonosulfuric acid, this is called as Keros acid. Disulfuric or pyrosulfuric acid, this is oleum. In fact, oleum consists of H2SO4 and SO3 in a varying proportion. All right, but in general what we call is H2S2O7, that is disulfuric acid. This is going to be called as oleum. Otherwise, what you can just write down over here in the footnote is that it can be H2SO4 with sulfur trioxide in a varied proportion. Okay, it will be H2SO4 SO3. The total, if you do that, comes up to H2S2O7. So it is essentially pyrosulfuric acid. And one we have is Marshall's acid, which is peroxodisulfuric acid. So these are the three names which you have to remember along with. So now we have completed our discussion on these names, the formulas and the structures of oxo acids. So let us look at the few questions which have come in the examination from this portion. And well, I would want you to just pause after seeing the question and try to attempt the question yourself based upon this learning, how much you have gained from this lecture. So question number 1, this is a JEE Mains April 2019 question. The oxo acid of sulfur that does not contain the SS bond. I think this should be very simple for you people, because you know that the SS bond is going to be present in those oxo acids where we will be having the oxidation state less than +6. So what you have to do is just simply calculate the oxidation state. And well, if you have just done them, so you will be knowing that also that in H2S2O7 it is going to be an oxidation state of +6. This is disulfuric or pyrosulfuric acid, and therefore this will be having the oxidation state of +6. And whenever the oxidation state is going to be +6 or more than that, it will never be a SS linkage. All right, so here it is going to be a SOS linkage, and the correct answer therefore is going to be C choice. The next question we have is, in which pair of the following ions both the species contain SS bond? So again, this should be very easy. You have to just calculate the oxidation state. Wherever oxidation state is coming greater than +6 or it is equal to +6, that won't be having the SS linkage. So the correct option is going to be over here, A choice, where we will be seeing both the compounds having SS linkage. The next compound is that the number of S double bond O and SOH bonds in peroxy disulfuric acid and pyrosulfuric acid respectively are, and the choices they are given, and this is the JEE Mains 2017 question. So try to make these structures and find out the correct answer. Well, if you have done that, what the answer is going to be is D choice. How did we get that? Peroxy disulfuric acid is H2S2O8. So you have to draw the structure the way I have taught you people. When you are going to draw it, this is the structure that you will be getting. And the number of S double bond O bonds, this is going to be equal to 4, and the number of SOH bonds, this is going to be equal to 2. In case of pyrosulfuric acid, which is going to be H2S2O7, the structure is this, and the number of S double bond O is going to be again equal to 4. SOH bonds is going to be equal to 2. In fact, in both of them, it is going to be the same. The only difference in both the compounds is going to be the presence of the SOS and the SOOS linkage. Okay, I think this is quite easy for you. One more question. This is the IIT question 2004 examination. Again, in this you have to tell which of the following compounds will be having a OO linkage. So OO linkage is going to be present when the oxidation state is going to be more than +6. So again, you are going to calculate it that so very simply, and the correct answer is going to be B choice. Right? I hope now this is going to be very easy for you. And if the question comes in the examination, it is going to be +4 for me. Thank you. So that would be all for this lecture. I hope you enjoyed this learning with me and you are really going to do awesomely well in your examination. For more tricks, more concepts and more questions from us, please do subscribe to the channel. Also do click on the like link if you've liked this lecture, and do share it with your friends so that they can also gain from us. So see you again. Have a nice day. God bless you.